it's an FPS, and I mean, if I can watch Overwatch, I feel like I can watch.
Well, man, that's true. Most, I think, FPS games, like if you know one, you at least get the concept of most of them.
Well, and I think that's one of the bigger things that I'm excited about.
Yeah, but like, how often would you go back to CES Go? Like, we watched it the other.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I'm not going to go out of my way to necessarily watch it just on my own.
Although,
but what this is cool is, we've argued before that maybe one of the reasons esports doesn't catch on with mainstream is because people who don't play the games don't understand the games. But this is kind of proof that there's at least 42% of them that don't play the games.
Yeah.
And do understand.
Look, watching Street Fighter V qualifiers is, since you guys got me to watch that live the other day, like, it'll pop up on my YouTube when it's live, and I'll sit down and I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to fucking watch. I'll never play another round of Street Fighter. I hate fighting games.
Yeah.
I hate fighting games because all I do is lose. All I do is lose or button mash, and it just.
And when you win button mashing, you feel like Chris.
Huh? Button mashing is a valid tactic if it's controlled button mashing versus random. There's a difference. And you know what? Yeah, I watched Marvel vs. Capcom 3 a whole bunch, and I can't play that game for shit.
I always love watching Smash, like no matter what.
Oh yeah, no, and because of Mikey, I'll never go back to Smash ever.
I've had this for an idea for a topic as well, because we've heard this a billion times, you're not qualified to talk about this, like, what are the games, like for each of us, what are the games that people have to have played where you'll take their opinion seriously? Like, you know what I mean, like if someone comes up to me and wants to talk to me about games, and I'm like, I know for a fact you've never played or beaten a Final Fantasy game, I'm going to take what you say with a grain of salt. I think the fun of that conversation is every game we say, at least someone in the room will be like, well, I've never played that, and we'll point out how stupid that argument is.
I'm going to say it. Try to pinpoint it a little bit more, because I think you're right. I think when it comes to things like sports, you don't have to have played. But when it comes to certain video games, you probably do have to have played something to really comment on it.
I agree, but because I think, Nate will mention, Metal Gear Solid. I'm like, I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game.
Really?
No.
I played more MGS than you?
Yeah. But I think, the idea is that the idea of the argument is to point out, that is such a stupid argument to make against anything, you've never played such and such game, therefore your opinion means less. Really? Interesting. But there might be other games out there where it's like, no, you really probably should have played this.
I'd say write it up and let's take a look at what it looks like on paper. I mean, at the very least, it's an evergreen, so we could take time to cultivate that.
I did put up the outline.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I put the esports minutes on the FEC one.
I caught Mondays already.
Okay, great. The other two, I need tournament results that are happening tonight, so those won't get probably on the go tomorrow.
Don't worry. It's fine. With Mondays in, I'm good.
Okay. Pokemon Go is starting to get to that point for me now. I don't need any more Pokemon that nest.
Now that I'm out in Chesnang where there's nothing. There are Pokestops around town I could go get, right? But
all three of them?
There's more. But they're not in a nice, decent range or whatever. But the problem is, even when we're at our place, if you pop it open, it's gonna be shitty stuff, but at least things pop. Nothing even pops in the grandma's house.
Yeah, I am down to needing Mareep, Larvitar, Tyrogue, and Chansey. Those are the 4 things I still need.
I got 3 or 4 Tyrogue.
I do too, but none of them will evolve into Hitmontop.
I feel like
I've caught 2 natural Hitmontop.
Yeah.
The only chances that I have right now of getting good stuff is by hatching.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Which is fine, because I can go. I actually don't mind walking around Chesnang with there's no fear of being shot. So maybe I'll start doing that. But.
Yeah, I pretty much just have to hatch 10Ks. That's all I have left.
Fritz.
My Hoot Hoot nest turned into a Ponyta nest.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Except I have a perfect Rapidash already.
Okay, but do you have your fire badge?
I do. I caught it on Charmanders.
Alright, fair enough.
Have you been following? I feel like Madden has been popping up in a lot of headlines recently.
It's going to be one of our esports moves this week because the $500,000 tournament championship is tonight. I got to see a little bit of that first Gwent tournament.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed. Like the production value was there and matches were pretty decent. I still don't quite understand how everything about the game, but yeah, first tournament, not bad for. I'll say this, it's pretty damn good for a game that doesn't exist yet. Like it isn't public yet.
Like I said, I cut the first esports.
Oh yeah, was that the first one that was on there? The Gwent one. Forgot what order I did them in.
Yeah, I was able to get that in like 2 or 3 takes.
I didn't know if it was long enough. I figured
It was perfect. It was 29.
Oh, great.
Perfect.
Yeah, that second one that I put on there about the fighting game results, like my first read of it came out to 20 seconds. I'm like, all right, we need to find a couple more lines for this one.
There was definitely one last week that I had to slow read.
Yeah.
No, we're not in a bad place then. 3 out of 6, and I mean, if we tossed in an evergreen, if nothing else pops up, technically 2 more, so good spot.
I reached out to both TSM and C9's PR department to see if I could get him on for an interview, but I haven't heard back.
Okay.
I imagine they're probably busy as fuck at MSI right now, so probably want to. I'm sure that's it.
I finished Legion last night.
What did you think of the ending? Specifically the Pokeball.
The post credit.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
Oh shit, that happened.
Yeah!
Completely forgot about that.
I wish I could forget about that.
I don't know. I mean, depends on how it pays off.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Because if it's Mojo, like I'm kind of into that. I'd be really into Mojo. Especially right now, because it would break up where...
Early on in the series, just based on the Shadow Lord's appearance, that's who I was thinking at first, was Mojo.
That's fair. I thought the
God,
same.
that guy was so fucking creepy looking. Every time he came
I
on
know.
screen, it was just like, oh my god.
If it's something lighthearted like Professor X, like, I'll be into it. If it's the fucking MacGuffin that they name at the end, Project Scorpio, or whatever the fuck stupid name it is.
Project PS4 Slim.
Right.
I mean, I just hate the idea that, like, okay, he's finally, started to realize and utilize his whole reality manipulation powers, and he just gets trapped in some ball. And now I realize he can't just be all powerful all the time, so they are going to have to probably introduce some type of, power suppression technology, but I always hated that.
Well, I think they just have to put him on tangents, which is what I think this is going to be. If they put him on a tangent like Mojo, where he's off doing his own thing for a while, I think that's probably the best thing that you can do with an alpha level mutant until you're ready to roll him into like the greater canon. Because they've got to figure out how they're going to roll them into the greater canon.
Like into the movie canon?
Yeah.
I don't know that they're going to.
They are going to.
Are they?
Yep. Bryan Singer's name is on it, and they've said that they're going to put it into the greater canon.
Oh, okay. I mean, they've actually said that. Cool.
Yeah.
Because what I've been hoping and waiting for, and it's actually DC properties that have been pushing this more. And I don't know if it's something that they realize that they're doing. But when the Justice League movie, or no, it was when Suicide Squad first came out, or was coming out, they killed off Deadshot in the TV shows, right? It was like this idea that, since we have him on the silver screen, we can't have people confusing people on the smaller screen, right? And even in Supergirl, in the first season, she would always refer to her cousin, right? Well, they finally actually just started, like, it's like they forgot. It's like, you know what, fuck this. People don't give a shit. It's probably more annoying to them that we're dancing around the names than just flat out saying them.
Considering we have the rights to them?
Yeah, so just fuck it. Just say it. You know, I mean, Superman's even been on the show before. And even on Powerless, which was an ABC or an NBC comedy that they did about Wayne Corp offshoot. You probably watched an episode which was Alan Tudyk in it. Anyway, funny. But anyway, they actually, like, straight up reference, you know, like Wayne and Batman and like Green Lantern and just all over the place, right? And that's what I want people to start doing is we can tell the difference between movie canon or TV canon. In comic books, they have multiple fucking universes anyway. We don't give a shit, okay? If they're on the silver screen, who cares? Use them in the TV shows too, you know?
They're so fucking desperate with the X-Men that they just don't give a shit.
And maybe that'll work to their advantage.
And here's the other thing. They have to reset the timeline again. Think about it. Think about the fucking corner that they've written themselves into with the Apocalypse storyline.
You know, not even that. Here's the thing. See, okay, they know, okay, we have to reset the timeline. And we're all sitting here being like, and you reset it with Sansa Stark as Jean Grey, so we know you have to reset the timeline again in just a few movies when you realize how big of a fuck up that was.
What's wrong with Sansa?
She's fucking terrible is what's wrong with her.
Tell us how you really feel.
Jeez. I think what they're building towards is the what is it? Day of the X or something? The fuck is that storyline called?
It's not ringing any bells.
It's an offshoot that Chris Claremont did towards the end of the X-Men run.
Well, you know, they're starting up a whole new film line with New Mutants, right? That's supposed to be out, I think, late next year. Macy Williams has been cast in it. Another Game of Thrones.
Yeah, she's great.
True. She's Wolf Girl or something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fox tried spinning off X-Men as a property or New Mutants as a property as a TV series.
New Mutants is definitely going as a movie, but they do have Gifted. Isn't that based on X-Men lore? I know that they have another X-Men TV property that they're working on.
Anyway.
Besides Legion.
There's a storyline where Legion gets manipulated into creating an entirely separate universe, like he does in the series in his head several times, where mutants are facing off against the humans. It's like it's quote unquote the last of the mutants.
Okay.
And you've got a couple, like you've got Iron Man and a couple of other people that are siding with the humans, and it's like this fucked up weird tangent storyline that they did for like maybe a dozen issues.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like a bunch of different X-Men storylines.
But that's how they reset the X-Men storyline in the comic.
Alright, yeah, here we go. The Gifted. In a world where mutated humans are treated with distrust and fear and dispute from mutants, battles to achieve peaceful coexistence with humanity. It says this series is influenced by Peter David's X-Men comic X Factor, where the X-Men formed an agency to investigate mutant-related incidents. Oh my god. Wow, this actually, let's see, people cast in it, Blink. Someone's actually been cast as Polaris. Stan Lee's even on the cast list. So we call it
Get the fuck out of here. He's too old.
He's so old.
He'll die on set.
If he does, he'll go out the way he wanted.
His Guardians cameo is the best. Like he doesn't need any more cameos after that.
Who's
that
Stan?
was like the final one, yeah.
I think after Stan dies, they should just continue to CGI him everywhere.
Everywhere. Multiple cameos per movie.
Yeah, no,
After he's dead, he should
he's
have
gonna be
a
the next
whole
Professor
movie.
X.
He should have a whole movie dedicated to him starring in random shit.
Or just a movie about his mundane life and all the other superheroes have cameos.
Yeah.
Stan Lee, the Watcher.
Watcher of the Wall.
He should cameo in Game of Thrones.
Saw a picture of Brolin, like he put up like some Instagram picture of him like working out or whatever, and I can see him as Cable.
Who? Oh, Josh Brolin.
Brolin, yeah. So, picture of Robin from Teen Titans saying, Starfire, I think it's awesome the way you shoot starbolts. In Teen Titans, we don't say I love you. We say I like the way you shoot starbolts, which roughly translates to Batman never taught me how to talk to girls, and that's the best compliment I could manage. And I think that's beautiful.
Wow.
Top porn star explains why she left the industry to become a pro gamer.
More lucrative.
On one of our stories, guys.
Is there pictures?
Not of her doing porn.
Not interested.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's the new thing. Is like, when you get done with your fuck session on Chatterbait or whatever you get donations for, you put your clothes on and you fire up Twitch and you get more donations showing
Well,
your
you only put some of your clothes on.
Age of X is what I was talking about.
I've heard of that one.
Age of X was it was basically a completely alternate universe that Legion creates as one of his split personalities creates it to try to protect himself, and you end up getting mutant versus mutant, and
Right.
There's all kinds of fascinating shit with like Rogue and Shadowcat.
Alright, so if you're watching all of Legion, is it like Aubrey Plaza's character
Yeah.
still weirdly fucking disturbingly hot?
I don't know. I think by the end of it, I was more into the blonde. like she had that like weird. She had a weird androgynous vibe that was. It didn't.
So how many times did you have to argue with yourself that she's just a figment of his is she?
No, I let the thing take me on the ride.
Because Chris was always trying to be like, he's just in her head. Only he's talking to her. I'm like, but then what about that scene?
That doesn't count.
Oh, I don't know.
He's just talking to himself.
You in here, cat? Yep. Sorry, I'll bring it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll bring it down.
I really want to do an LBR version of this stupid SpongeBob meme. The community. You need to be more respectful. You're a community figure. Respectful community figure.
What was the quote that Fusion X said in response to that graph?
Oh,
What is good?
yeah, what does good even mean?
What does good even mean?
There you go, DC. I'm sure that'll fix all your problems. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman and more are all getting new super suits. Woohoo!
That was the problem.
Maybe they should worry about selling tickets to Wonder Woman first.
Thought that was hilarious that Superman's mom just straight up came out and been like, nah, the Avengers are always going to be better.
Martha, how could you?
Damn, it's really a good thing my mom's dead.
That's why Lex Luthor tried to throw off the building. Can't say stuff like that.
Can't tell if he loves or hates that box.
Why not both?
It's cat love.
Probably both.
He loves or hates that box in the same way that he loves or hates you.
Fair.
I only ever see that cat give him love.
Oh no. Should have seen him this morning. He was chilling on me.
Lovingly.
No.
What you laughing at over there?
Katie played Quaint against me for like 68 points. So I played Orzo against her.
For how many points?
It was only 45. That's not the point. The point is she got Orzo'd.
She got more zooed.
Varian Rid died for your sins.
Big guy. We didn't ask him to do that.
Yeah, guess what? If it was an orc, he wouldn't have died. Wait, was Varian the guy that died off screen?
No.
Who? What?
Talking about what? World
No,
War.
Varian was the king. Fucking Gul'dan actually like just exploded him on screen.
No, he held him, and then it panned away, and then exploded off screen.
I don't think it did. I think we straight up saw him go.
Who was the one that exploded but was off screen?
I mean, Uther's death was pretty lame because his wasn't even a cutscene. His was just, I'm gonna pick you up and set you on fire and then throw you into the water.
There's a 100% chance that we're gonna fight corrupted variant in the last raid of World of Warcraft.
100%, huh?
Give or take 10% in the positive direction.
So I also started a organization document for E3.
I saw that.
So we'll, you know, the show breakdown is on there. You know, we'll schedule as many meetings and interviews as we can. Try to think of developers that you wanna try.
Yep, I've sent a bunch of stuff to groups that you get in contact with them, but I'll put them on there. I like the generic questions for both, you know, dating celebrities, devs, and convention goers to ask them.
We should probably try to plan a meet and greet, although, I mean, I don't know how, like,
How or when?
yeah.
We have no time.
We also have to try to figure out what social events are going on, because we need to use this as an opportunity for networking. Like, as much as we're going out there to make a show, we also need to network like crazy and, you know, talk to as many people as we can. So we need to get an idea of like what kind of after parties and stuff are going on and where they are, and if, you know, how we get into them, sort of thing. Because we will be getting in after all of the panels, right? Like after all of the keynotes and stuff. So I think those happen the first couple of days, and then it goes, it opens, the show floor opens after that.
Questions. We're about on the same page as what you would be for that.
Yeah. We get in at like noon, don't we?
10 a.m.
Yeah, it's like 10ish.
10 a.m. Tuesday. But I think like there's a run of, I mean, I think like
There are a few.
like
because
Sony
there's one
or-
that Kookie's like, you know, you guys be there because it's like
on a Monday, yeah,
something.
there, it's like
Well, yeah, the Xbox one is before the whole thing even starts.
right.
Yeah, I know we're missing that.
The biggest ones are before that. So we will need to get audio from those. Like we'll need to mark off, you know, get the streams of them or a YouTube replay or something, and mark down.
Timestamps for like the big.
Yeah, a couple of timestamps for stuff that we want to talk about and use it as a lead into that.
You know, that actually kind of works out because that means that there's a few things going on before we even get there. We can plan.
It's
a bunch of
mostly
segments
show floor.
around
It's
them.
mostly show floor, and we're going for interviews. I mean, like we're not going to be bogged down waiting to get into stuff, because most of those announcements will have been wrapped up. So we've got to be paying attention what's going on, you know, Monday and early Tuesday.
It's also
like
nice for
even
the
on
interviews because then you can ask. You know, we're talking to.
Oh yeah, we have
goers.
context for
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so wiped out.
Since getting out of that house, I feel differently, right? And it is a positive change. Like I don't feel as depressed all the time anymore, but I wouldn't say that I'm like the opposite of what depressed is. I'm kind of like just like in between, like I'm just kind of existing,
Yeah. That's fair.
which is still an improvement.
That's not
yeah,
bad.
it's still an improvement. I think I'll start to feel better when I can get back to streaming. I feel like such shit that I haven't been able to stream for
Yeah, I really do want to get back into the habit. It's just finding any kind of free time. If I get any kind of free time, most of it I'll use either watching esports stuff or watching videos on gaming and like trying to figure out like stuff that I want to talk about.
Right,
for
yeah,
Checkpoint.
new
And, yeah.
perspectives or new lines. of
Exactly.
conversation stuff.
Yeah. And it can be mostly passive too, so I can also kind of like either drift off or, you know, like relax and do that because everything else it's not like I do anything that is like super energy intensive, but it's like even sitting in front of a computer anymore is just fucking exhausting because it's what I feel like it's all I do.
Have you I'm not actually saying that these are words that are coming out of my mouth, but you know, we're seniors now. Have you thought about like, you know, looking into seeing if like maybe you need vitamin supplements or anything? Because there was a time, I think 2 years ago, when I went in to get like a physical done and mentioned how I'm exhausted all the time. I had like a super low iron deficiency, and they're like,
I'm on Adderall though. Like that's straight up like a stimulant, and I drink tons of coffee, and I'm
well,
still just like, oh.
okay, so maybe there is something that your body's missing that, you know. I don't know. All I know is that the past week I've started taking like, you know, the iron again. I have like the once a day kind of pill thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's those or something else, but I do feel a little bit better. I'm not taking like 2 naps a day now.
Yeah.
You know, you got a few years on me too, so.
Could be the mono.
Could be the mono.
The mono just hasn't worked its way out yet.
Well, I didn't realize that's probably one of those one and done type things. I mean, in some rare cases you can get it a second time, but usually once you've gotten it once.
I have no idea. I don't know if it's like chicken.
No, yeah, it is because when me and Katie went to a movies once, we shared a drink, and I'm like, I might have mono, and she's like, well, I've already had it, and I'm like, that's not how it works, and so I googled it, and I'm like, oh, that's how it works.
Oh. Timing of it's a bitch.
Huh?
The timing of it was a bitch.
Yeah.
So the only mention I can find of this new like French legislation in regards to KESPA is in them saying like this sort of thing existing in Korea.
Look at what KESPA does, what KESPA has, like what it actually does, what function it serves in terms of like what you were saying that the French want to do for contract limitations and stuff like that. What does KESPA already do in that area, or what do they do overall to compare the two?
Okay.
There's not going to probably be.
Yeah, KESPA's far more wide-reaching. They do everything. They run tournaments like and whole leagues.
Right.
But
But that's a distinction that we are
Present.
going to have to point out.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing. I mean, as you just looked, no one else is doing
It's
this.
bothering to compare the two.
Yeah, so I think that's fair. You have to. I mean, you can't look at this like a league. You've got to look at it on a 1-to-1 ratio with another government organization.
Right.
Or government oversight, or whatever it is. I'm not even sure what it is. So like we've just got to cover our faces.
I saw King Arthur last night, and that was actually a line in there. Arthur, you know, got away, and King knew whatever, talking to his right-hand man, was like, just do your fucking job. And that's all I could think of. Do your job. Do your job.
We're going to clearly need that as a problem. Do your fucking job.
Also referenced Reservoir Dogs in it. Cut off some dude's ear and talked into it.
I've heard that movie is like you go in expecting a dumpster fire, and it's like less. It's like
a Guy Ritchie film. Like, it is so obviously a Guy Ritchie film, just done with a huge IP and given like blockbuster money. So I mean, it's fine.
I saw Get Out last night.
Oh really?
Yeah, I still hadn't seen that. I walked out of that movie sitting like, I don't know what I'm supposed to think or what lesson I'm supposed to take away from it, but I know I probably shouldn't date any black girls. I'm not allowed to because I'm a bad person and I'm going to steal her body. That's all I know.
See, look at all the hate.
Yeah, that movie was weird. Although Rod is maybe the best character in any movie ever, and he's my hero.
knows there's a camera roll.
Knows there's evidence.
Yeah. The psychological abuse from this cat, I can't even believe it.
I keep thinking, like, the song playing over here eventually is going to get one of our videos flagged. Like happened the one time, like when we watched that Rick and Morty episode the one time, it got our video flagged. And I'm like,
yeah, but like 90% of the music that we play over the stream doesn't get flagged.
right.
Yeah, because they're the game remixes.
Yeah. Which, you know, shit keeps progressing the way it does. Eventually that's going to get the kibosh. I mean, I think that's why all of the YouTube stuff is like worth covering and valid, because it's such a tone shift from the way that video games have always really kind of dealt with their community, whether it's been game remixes, whether it's been, you know, permissive use of their intellectual properties for, you know, fan creations or whatever. That's why I had Kooky reach out to the video game lawyer, because that guy, so there was a guy who made a video about, there was a YouTube video about doing mods, like doing like a homebrew mod. And basically what he said is, if you're working on one and I already know about it, you already fucked up. Don't tell anyone anything and just put it out there. And what Video Game Lawyer stepped in and said was, don't do that, because the worst case scenario is not a C&D. The worst case scenario is actually having your ass dragged into court. And he's like, you can do that, you know, like you are so legally open at that point, like once it's out, you know, like they don't have to send a C&D. They can just straight up sue the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And sue you into poverty.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like the C&D is mainly there for them to be able to say, stop making money off it when you don't have enough money for it to be worth for them to sue you.
Exactly.
Like if they're not going to get shit out of suing you, they're not going to waste their time on it. But they still could.
But even if you're not making, like, just by virtue of the fact that you're not making money doesn't make it legally defensible. It doesn't make it fair use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be even a worse box if they decide to make an example of you. Doesn't matter, you ain't got money. There's other ways they can take you.
Yeah, they're happy to sue you anyway.
Exactly. So I think that that's probably worth a conversation. The guy sounds like a smart guy to have in our pocket for future conversations.
For when we're being sued.
Wow. I mean...
And on that note, see you guys.
Oh, I always forget that we're doing this kind of stuff.